Hello, you're welcome. Now, increased interest for sustainability reporting has been provoking both companies and academics to deepen their knowledge in sustainability and therefore on sustainability indicators. Of course, when assessing social sustainability, a lack of knowledge is present and is due to the increased stakeholders' pressures and awareness on the possible social impacts along the supply chain. There is, therefore, a need to unravel this sustainability concept. Joining me today in our interview segment to throw in-depth insights into this special subject of sustainability reporting, of course, with a slant to the Nigerian perspective, is a scholar, an expert, and a professional accountant. Dr. Innocent Okwuosa is ICAN's first deputy vice president. Indeed, a man that I know so closely, an officer of our institute, a chartered accountant of note, and a gentleman. Well, we will unveil more on this, our astute guests, very shortly. Also, in this episode, we are going to be availing our online participants and friends of ICAN and people who seek knowledge for empowerment. This program will be unveiling snippets of a forensic accounting moot court session, which our ICAN forensic audit and accounting faculty showcases as a training program to empower participants to conduct forensic and investigations on financial and economic matters. We'll show you a little bit of a snippet on that. And of course, little bits of potpourri, diary announcements. I'd like you to please take your pen and paper. Take note that you can advertise your products and services on ICAN on air. It will get to the nooks and crannies of the globe. Take note of the phone numbers and the email, and you can always contact us. And we'll be at your beck and call. Therefore, don't go away. We'll be with you very shortly. Mm. A bit of some production glitch there, which I'm very sure is being handled. Please, we will surely get back and get running shortly. Please bear with us. You are welcome back. Apologies for the slight glitch in getting this back to you, but we are ready, and I'm happy that you have met our erudite guests. Bringing him on now, Dr. Innocent Okwuosa, our first Deputy Vice President of ICAN. Dr. Okwuosa, you are welcome to ICAN on Air.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very well. We delve straight into the questions. There is no nebulity on that subject. Talking about sustainability, I know sustainability has been different things to different people. For us as professional accountants, we want to drive deeper. I'd like to ask you, what is, by your definition and understanding, is sustainability reporting?
Okay. All right. Thank you for that question. When we talk about sustainability reporting, I want us to bring it to perspective because sustainability has history. So it started off from the perspective of when in the early 70s, there were issues around the workers, and that was taken as social issue. And there were critical accounting scholars that were interested in what accounting is doing to bring to perspective these social issues. And they were known as social accountants. Subsequently, environmental issues came about in the 90s and in the 80s, and the focus also expanded to include environmental issues. And so environmental issue became more dominant when we talk about social accountants, critical and social accountants. And so the emphasis then was on social and environmental. That is, what is the impact of corporate operation socially and environmentally? And so we talk about social and environmental accounting and reporting. Then fast forward to the WCED conference in 1987, the Brundtland report then came up with another report that considered the impact of corporation on the environment. But this time, there is a consideration for the next generation. And so they brought in the concept of sustainable development. And this concept of sustainable development is that if corporations, if companies will continue in the current state they are operating, then the earth will not be able to accommodate human beings. And so they brought out this concept that well captures what is currently happening with corporate operation. And that is that if we continue, the man on earth, if he continues the way it's going, then we will just get to a state whereby we will meet the need of the present generation and then deny the future generation the opportunities to fulfill their own needs. Because the earth will no more be habitable at that point in time if we continue with the way corporations are operating. And so we then define sustainable development as development that helps the present generation to meet their own needs and also allow future generation the opportunity to also fulfill their own aspiration. And so we talk about intergenerational equity when we talk about sustainability. So that is the concept behind sustainability reporting. And so when we define sustainability reporting on the surface, which is what majority of people would see, that is disclosures about the social and environmental impact of corporate operation. That's what we look at as sustainability reporting, whereby corporations are made to report on the impact of their social and environmental within social and environmental context of how they operate. Now, there are two sides or two frameworks that help us contextualize sustainability. So there's the GRI framework, and there's the US Sustainability Accounting Standards Board framework. While the GRI emphasizes stakeholders, and so is looking at performance from 3 dimensions of social, environmental, and economic, the US Sustainability Accounting Standard is investor focused and therefore talks about economic, social, and governance, that is ESG. And this information is prepared to enable the investor make an informed investment decision. Therefore, the sustainability of US SSB is tailored towards meeting the needs of the investor, whereas the sustainability framework of GRI is more stakeholder oriented. So when we talk about stakeholders, it is not just investors alone, but NGOs, government, employees, and a whole load of stakeholders.
And a whole load of stakeholders. Yes, Dr. Okwuosa, you know when we do exams, for you to deepen your understanding, the examiner will say compare, contrasts. And I wanted to ask you, of course, we are used as being counters to financial reporting. We report present, we use that to project the future, snapshot of what has happened in the past. What will you say is the one difference between sustainability reporting and financial reporting?
Good question. In financial reporting, we are interested in the financial performance. Whereas in sustainability, we are looking at performance in 3 dimensions. So we'll talk about social performance, environmental performance, and economic performance if I'm talking about the GRI, or environmental, social, and governance if I'm talking about the US SSB. And so you see that financial is more of finances, finance. And if I can bring in the concept of integrated reporting capital, I think it makes it a bit clearer, because integrated reporting then talks about 6 capitals, of which financial is just one. And if you look at it from that concept, you can then see that financial reporting is more about financial capital. Whereas if I expand to sustainability, I will touch upon the other capitals, which may include social capital, intellectual capital, social and relationship, natural capital. So they all come in if I talk about sustainability reporting.
Excellent point. I think that makes it clearer and draws the essential difference for our viewers to understand. Let's come back to Nigeria. Practically speaking, which companies in Nigeria are encouraged to present sustainability reporting in their financial statements? Knowing, of course, that It is not a statutory obligation. Any examples that we can point out?
Yes. Led by the Nigerian Stock Exchange is very, very encouraging. I think the Nigerian Stock Exchange has been upfront in promoting sustainability reporting in Nigeria and has made it mandatory. So it is not, we say it's not statutory, so it's statutory, really speaking, for a set of companies within Nigeria. They call them the premium board companies. The premium board companies. These are the most highly capitalized companies and include the likes of Dangote, the likes of, there are about 3 banks there. Zenith Bank is there, UBA is there, Access Bank is there, and then Lafarge. So these are premium board companies. There's also Seplat. Seplat is also there. Premium board companies that must compulsorily prepare sustainability reports. And let's get it, really. Their sustainability report is not embedded within financial reporting. So if we look at the concept of the annual report, so the annual report could combine sustainability and financial, but the practice is that these premium board companies in Nigeria prepare separate standalone sustainability reports. And that's the practice. We had stakeholders engagement with the stock exchange, was it on Tuesday? And I think they are already thinking about expanding those that will be required to prepare sustainability report beyond the premium board companies to all listed companies in Nigeria. So the accountant should be ready because he will get to a stable that he will be required to prepare sustainability report of his company that is listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Super. And I happen maybe just to add to that, you know, the oil exploration marketing companies, the big ones too, they have to develop their own specific sustainability reports. Now, Dr. Okwuosa, what is the link between sustainability reporting and CSR, what we know as corporate social responsibility? Is there any correlation?
Okay, very good. Yes, because we are looking at sustainability within the Nigerian perspective. And incidentally, I looked at the sustainability report of the premium board companies that I talked about. And one of the, so there's a paper I did on that, but I was just interested in how they contribute to Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. And I just picked one SDG indicator, which is water. And I tried to find out how they are reporting their contribution to water, and then what is their motivation? Because actually when you interrogate reporting, you will see that there's a motive behind how companies report what they report. So I try to investigate the reason why they report their contribution towards water. And then I saw, when I interrogated the statement, that their motivation is CSR, is the primary motive why they do what they do. Because if you read through the report, you will see that their SDG or sustainability report flows from their CSR commitment. So you see them say they want to create shared value. They engage with stakeholders. They're interested in the community. And this has flown from their CSR policy. So this sustainability is a continuation of their CSR policy. And then see that it is actually CSR that is the driver of sustainability among these companies. And that's why when you look at their report, what you see is everywhere is pictures. CSR, CSR events or projects that they've commissioned, and those are the pictures you see in their sustainability report.
Very interesting.
Between sustainability and CSR in Nigeria.
Yes, Albert, the dog wears the tail wears the dog, or the dog wears the tail. CSR and that aspect of sustainability. To be thinking of today, I'm thinking of tomorrow. If I heard you correctly in your brief intro, yes, the stock exchange has done quite a lot to ensuring that you prepare sustainability reports separately. So it appears to me, maybe I'm wrong, but it appears to me that there is currently no conceptual framework for reporting sustainability, of course, as we have for financial reporting. So how can preparer of such reports surmount this problem?
Okay, all right. So it is a good question you have, really. There are conceptual framework for reporting sustainability, so to engaging in sustainability reports. That's what I made reference to when I talked about the GRI and the US SSB. Actually, the sustainability reporting space is full of many players. There are many players in that space. And that brings in multiplicity of, will I say, frameworks and different ways that can be followed in preparing a sustainability report. But essentially, if I will bring down sustainability reporting to practical application, what an accountant does when he prepares sustainability report, it is more of indicators. So it is selecting indicators and reporting on indicators in the corporate report. So, for instance, we'll talk about environmental, social. So, what are the environmental indicators that you will report on? The GRI framework has a list of them. And what are the social issues? One of the social issues, because we're looking at Nigerian perspective, is labor, health and safety of labor. But within the band, one issue that is trending is contract staff, contract workers. One of the disclosures that you expect to make in terms of social is the ratio of full-time staff and contract staff, because there are ethical issues involved when you have more of your staff as a contract staff as opposed to permanent staff. In social, in the environmental bit, when you look at the sustainability report, you see them talking about their policies on water, maybe the tap, energy consumption, how they use generator, those. So it is more of indicators that signpost your sustainability reporting. So there is a GRI framework and there's a US SSB, and all these have their indicators, while the GRI is generalistic in nature. The US SSB does its own industry by industry. And so there's a guide that the accountant can follow. Then the Nigerian Stock Exchange has come up with its own sustainability guidelines. He also brought out indicators, but there is a confusion in the indicators of the Nigerian Stock Exchange because there's a mix-up between what constitutes social and what constitutes environmental. So there's that mix-up, and there's no clear demarcation in the real sense of it. And so the accountant is going to struggle if he's going to comply with the true sustainability reporting if he follows the Nigerian Stock Exchange guideline.
Fantastic.
So that's the state now.
Fantastic. I mean, we're having some of our online participants talking about the IFRS questions surrounding IAS or IFRS that may be issued in 2022. We will naturally get to that. I wanted to therefore ask you this question. My own understanding, and maybe the understanding of quite a number of other people, that in sustainability reporting tends towards narrative reporting and voluntary disclosures. there. The challenge is that entities will only disclose information that is favorable to them. So if it's not favorable, suppress. How can this be addressed? Should sustainability disclosure be mandatory?
Good question. Good question. And we need to be realistic. We need to be realistic. And that's why during our engagement in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, stakeholders engagement, we need to talk, some people talk in terms of corporations impact reporting. So looking at it on the part of impact reporting. But the truth is that if the impact is a negative impact, no corporation will be showing you its negative impact. And that's why the sustainability report I talked about is full of pictures of projects, commissioned projects to elevate the life of the people. And that is trying to show sustainability in the good light, that this is our activity that enhances the life of the community. And they will tell you borehole, they've sunk borehole in communities, roads constructed, education, health services built. Those are the things they tell you. But there are oil spillages that we are hearing about. If you pick the annual report of company, they're not going to tell you about oil, how they spilled oil. They're not going to, the banks are not going to tell you how they engage in contract staff that are complaining. So truly, sustainability report will only portray the good side of the corporation. But that's why we have the framework. The framework then stipulates what those indicators that you should report. And that's where the accounting comes in. We talk about the trust in sustainability reports. Trust in sustainability reports can only come when accountants assure, that's assurance, the information in sustainability report. The accountant must brace up, get the necessary skills to be able to provide assurance that authenticates what is provided in sustainability report.
Oh, super, super.
Should it be mandated in our environment? The answer is yes, because it's only through mandatory requirements that corporations can engage in it. I asked some accountants, because you know, my research is really on the role of professional accountants in sustainability reporting. And I conducted an interview where I asked accountants, why are you not bringing this knowledge of sustainability to your firms, to your companies? And the accountant has this as the view that he is an advisor and he can advise management, and management will refuse to take his advice. And therefore, it is better if there is a standard. Some has called for accounting standard that deals with sustainability, so that it is required. And if an auditor goes into the premises to audit and test whether the company has complied with this standard that specifically asks for sustainability issue, and the companies are not complying, then the accountant will raise management letter point, and they will qualify the audit report. But if there is no accounting standard, so we're not talking at the level of accounting standard, not even at the level of the stock exchange. So at the level of accounting standard can mandate these sustainability issues. Now, going on the larger scale at the capital market level, the Nigerian Stock Exchange can then mandate companies to do that and put it as part of its listing requirement. And if you want to list in the stock exchange, you must produce your sustainability report. Excellent. And that way, the accountant will then have a very clear role to play in sustainability.
Excellent point, Dr. Okwuosa. We are going to go on break shortly. And for our online participants, please keep your questions coming. And if you are just joining, I've been guesting Dr. Innocent Okwuosa, the first Deputy Vice President of our great institute, ICAN. And we've been looking at the issue of sustainability reporting from the Nigerian perspective. Soft issues, nice issues to look at environment today and tomorrow, and that we accountants have a role. Please stay on. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with you. This is ICAN on.
ICAN Act actually empowers the council to determine what standard of knowledge and skills are to be attained by persons seeking to become members of the accountancy profession, and also to raise those standards from time to time as circumstances permit. It is in the light of the above that the Institute created 7 faculties recognizing the specialized areas of accountancy to continuously certify members. This process is being carried out to fulfill that mandate given to the Council by the Act. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe you have undergone forensic accounting training in addition to your certification as chartered accountants. The end product of any forensic audit assignment are reports, and bear it in mind that your reports will attract both positive and negative attention. Your reports may attract litigation, and which is why the Institute, through the Audit, Investigation and Forensic Accounting faculty, added this session as part of the Forensic Accounting Training Program to empower you professionally to conduct forensic investigation on financial and economic matters and serve as expert witnesses in the court of law. Your confidence in presenting your evidences will be enhanced, and the experience will also be useful in regular auditing practice. That is to say, the session today is to expose you to what you will physically witness in an event your reports go to litigation and you're expected to appear before a judge at a court of law. This program has produced a significant number of certified forensic accountants of Nigeria, CFAs, who have been adding value in their various areas of endeavors in the last few years. And I believe when you become one, you will continue in this legacy. To this end, I enjoin you to get the best out of this session and ask necessary questions where you are not clear of any matter.
You are welcome back. And there you saw the forensic accounting court session, which took place yesterday, December 15, year 2021. And there you saw the registrar of our great institute, Professor Ahmed Kumshi, giving that address. I'd like to delineate that ICAN has been in the foremost in ensuring that we can, we will, and will always do the best when it comes to forensics. Members in that faculty can also serve as expert witnesses in court of law. You know, their experience, as enunciated by Professor Kumshi in that video that you saw, will be useful for members in their normal audit practice and engagement. Again, welcome back, Dr. Okwuosa. Thanks for the great insight you've been giving. I quickly just ask you, does Nigeria need to generate its indigenous framework for sustainability reporting, or can we adapt the existing framework? In other words, can we think global and act local in terms of generating our own homemade, homegrown indigenous framework?
Okay, that's also another interesting question. I would say that there is no need to reinvent the wheel. There will be no need to reinvent the wheel. We have international frameworks, and the sustainability issue we're discussing is global. It is not local, so to say. And therefore, the best that we can do is to adapt these international framework that exists. But one other information that the accountant in Nigeria should understand is that the IFRS Foundation has come into the sustainability reporting standard setting space. So it is no longer GRI, US SSB. I have highlighted the issue with GRI, stakeholder centric, but the US SSB is about tech reporting, that which obtains in the US environment. With IFRS Foundation now coming into the space, we are heading towards international sustainability reporting standard, just like we have IFRS standard. And Nigeria should just, and the accountants and Nigeria should just fall behind and get on.
Okay.
Let me also point out something. One of the issues is that when the consultation is going on, Nigeria do not participate. Nigerians don't participate. The users don't participate. The users themselves are supposed to have a voice because they are the ones to get reported. So when the consultation is going on, they don't participate. And therefore, we're likely going to get a sustainability standard that does not suit our environment. But if we participate in that process, our voice will be heard. And we will influence the final output.
Nice to mention, lofty, but Dr. Okwuosa, in a manner of speaking, if I pull your shirt back a little and say, wait, that given that over 90% of businesses in Nigeria are MSMEs, medium, small enterprises, do you really consider the country ready for sustainability reporting?
That's a tough one, really. If we think in the realm of businesses, you will see companies trying to defend the issue that they are very small and they are grappling with a different issues, possibly the issue of survival. But the sustainability issue we're talking about, when we understand the benefits, when we understand the advantages, then it doesn't matter whether you're MSME or whether you're a big corporation, because the advantages of embracing sustainability cuts across businesses. That's what I would say to that.
I'll start with next step, responsibility, and then making sure that we raise the bar at all times. Now, what specific steps must the institute, I'm talking of ICAN, what specific steps can ICAN take to get her members ready for sustainability reporting? Do you think we are doing enough?
Very good question. What I will say is that the Institute is making effort, just like other professional bodies are making. We may not be at the level of the big PAOs, but the Institute is making an effort. And so I think as far back as 2013, the Institute commissioned a research, which when I was at University of Henley Business School, when I was doing my PhD, I won that commissioned research with Professor Kenneth Amechi, a professor of sustainable business at the University of Edinburgh. And the output, the research output, was aimed at creating awareness among professional accountants. Because for you to get involved with sustainability, first of all, there has to be awareness. And that awareness is what the Institute tried to create. From that awareness, there were also follow-up studies that from time to time create awareness. In the CPD program also, sustainability always features. Also, inch it up a bit, that we also talk about integrated reporting. So all these CPDs that the Institute organizes is that if you did not pass through it when you are doing your ICAN program, of course, other information I want to provide is that ICAN has included all these in the syllabus. So if you go to the corporate reporting syllabus, you will see issues around social and environmental, sustainability, integrated reporting, and it's even there in different subjects. So if you did your ICAN, when these were not embedded in the syllabus, then we also expect you that if you do your normal CPD program, you will come across all these sustainability issues. The Institute goes as far as even organizing an in-house training with some big four firms on this. So there is massive awareness going on. So it depends on where the individual falls in. But the thing that will actually, and again, yeah, like the interview I told you we did on the role of professional accountant, I can always already see that some accountants are already practicing this in their companies. So I interviewed some chartered accountants that work with Nigerian breweries, and they told us how they transformed dump waste disposal from a cost-generating activity into a revenue-generating activity. That's what sustainability is all about, turning cost to profit, to income, to revenue. So that is already happening, but we can say that it may not be widespread, but the Institute is already doing a lot. Let us also know that this thing we're talking about is not just in the private sector alone, it is there also in the public sector. Now, public sector is, so there are talks about SDGs in public sector, and there is a special assistant on SDG to the president. The states have stuff on SDGs. So sustainable development goals and sustainability are also playing out in the public sector, and our members are there. So it is pervading the whole sector. There is sustainable banking, where the bankers have introduced sustainability, even in lending. So that even companies, if you are going to get loan from the bank, you have to embed sustainability within your business strategy to qualify for some of the loans that the banks are going to give. So it is pervasive, and the accountants ought to be aware of this.
Awesome, awesome. So we are beyond work in progress. As we say in our language, we are raising the bar, continuous education. Thank you, it's been very enlightening. I'd like to also thank our online participants. We are going to go on break, a brief break. We'll come back, and then we begin to acknowledge in more details some of the questions, just a few of the questions that we'll be able to take, and some of the comments of our online participants. Please stay put. We are going to be back with you shortly. You are welcome back. I must honestly appreciate all our online participants. Your questions came in torrents, and many of these questions were actually dealt with along the line. Maybe some of our guests, our participants came a bit late, but it went on. Sustainability reporting is a reporting of today for governance for the future. And Dr. Okwuosa was very stellar in stating it very clearly that we accountants are already doing a lot in that space. Now, a question actually came, Dr. Okwuosa, and that has something to do with the draft that you mentioned. AJ Silicon came with that question. You know, you actually talked about a draft that is in the works. And the question now is, why that is in the works? How can the institute participate much more fully in getting that draft to be shaped so that we don't wobble and fumble, as is usually the case with policy documents that we have in Nigeria? How can ICAN get more involved?
Okay, good question. Okay, good question. First of all, let me inform us that I did analysis of African participation in the sustainability, IFRS Foundation Sustainability Reporting Consultation, and discovered that of 54 countries, if there were 54 countries in Africa, only 4 countries submitted comment letters, of which Nigeria is one. And among those 4 countries that submitted, the different types of organizations that submitted, we also found out that the integrated reporting advocacy organizations were more in number, and there were the professional accountancy organizations. So the countries that submitted were Nigeria, South Africa, Namibia, Uganda, just 4 countries. So the implication is that and then again, in those 4, those that submitted in Nigeria, about 6 organizations, of which ICAN is one of the organizations that submitted its comment letter, along with FRC, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. So, and I guess the views expressed by ICAN is in line with what others are saying. So we can say that ICAN is already contributing to shaping this new sustainability standard that will come out from IFRS Foundation.
I wish I can.
One other thing that is going to happen is that perhaps when I can talk about is a commissioned research, he may have to think towards that direction. And then the academic conference that is coming up, more will talk about this IFRS Foundation sustainability reporting.
Super. I mean, I see situations where the gown meets the town, and like you said, I must clap for my institute. I hold my hand to my chest, and I'm proud that we are not just at the forefront. I wanted to ask you, would that be your last word, or just one statement, last word from you on this subject, Dr. Okwuosa?
Right. Okay. So I need to warn professional accountants in Nigeria, especially ICAN members, to get on board. They should get on board because sustainability is already permeating so many aspects of corporate operation in Nigeria. I talked about the sustainable banking. There's also the sustainable finance. And members of this organization are these corporate reporting organizations. The CBN is there, NICOM is there, PENCON is there, the Nigerian Stock Exchange is there. And these are people that regulate the different sectors. And the sustainable banking principle requires sustainability. So the banking industry is already on board. But you know what? Guess what? There is a group, imagine now, that call themselves sustainability professionals. And they hold themselves out as being the practitioners of sustainability. They've already gone from a professional body.
Super point. Super point.
Allow this to get to the point where we will now begin to struggle for sustainability reporting with this group. The accountant must get on board fast. Thank you.
We cannot continue to stare. We must get at the steering wheel. It's one thing that I know we do all the time. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Okwuosa. I know I'm very sure that we are going to be calling on you for us to give more insights into this subject and subsequent one. I must thank you immensely for the knowledge you have shared. And to our online participants, please, our next episode is going to be Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. First time, 6 p.m. West African time. The venue will be online, like we've just, done this time around. Get your friends, like ICAN. You begin to now see more and more. We are going to be looking at a topic that's on Tuesday, December 21st, 2021, insolvency practice. Again, the Nigerian perspective. And our guest will be Dr. Bolanle Adebola, ACIS, ABR, FHEA, an associate professor of law at the University of Reading, UK. She's a leading expert in international corporate governance and insolvency. And let me leave you with this quotation. Our biggest challenge in this new century is to take an idea that seems abstract, sustainable development, and turn it into reality for all the world's people. End of quote. That was Kofi Annan, now blessed memory. Yes, we can. Yes, we are ICAN. And like I always say, be the change you would like to see. I remain Akifatunke, your anchor, ICAN on Air. Bye for now.